In this video, we're gonna do a live sales role play, and I'm gonna show you exactly how to close over the phone. And you wanna make sure you watch this video until the end, because by seeing these closing skills in action, you're gonna be able to learn how to do it for yourself in your specific sale so you can start closing more deals. What's going on, everybody? It's Patrick here. Before we get started, make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications if you want to see more videos like this. And let's get started. All right, so the first thing we gotta do is we're gonna cover closing strategy, right? You wanna make sure you have the right strategy going into your sales meeting so that, closing becomes a lot easier. So when I'm talking about closing, right, I'm talking about specifically what happens at the end of the meeting, right? What exactly do you do? What exactly do you say to actually ask for the business? You see, the mistake most salespeople make is that they don't go for the close, right? Because they might feel a little afraid or timid to actually ask for the business. So they'll say something like, okay, John, if you want to buy from me, feel free to reach out next week or whatever it is, right? And then next week goes by and then the customer never responds to you and then you don't close the sale, right? So that's why as a salesperson, you need to actually ask for the business and actually collect the money. And I'm gonna show you a technique that you can use so that you can ask for the business without being too pushy, without being too salesy, and it even gives you an opportunity to handle objections, okay? And the key phrases or key closes that we're gonna use for this example is this. Number one is gonna be, is there anything else you need to see before making a decision? Or number two, a variation could be, what would it take for you to become a client of ours? All right, those are the two closes that we're gonna use. And then let's go ahead and get into the live role play.
Okay, Patrick, everything sounds good so far.
Great to hear, John. Now, is there anything else you need to see before making a decision?
I think that's everything.
Okay, so are you saying that you're ready to move forward with the next step right now?
I'm not sure. Let me get back to you.
Oh, okay, that's actually pretty interesting. You mentioned that you saw everything you needed to see before making a decision. So, I'm just curious, what's stopping you from moving forward?
Yeah, like I said, everything looks good, but I'm not 100% sure if this program is going to work for me.
Okay, and what exactly about the program do you feel may not work for you?
Well, I'm not sure if I have enough time to go through the coding bootcamp. The idea of, changing careers and being a software engineer sounds amazing, but I'm just worried my day job will take too much time and, I may not even end up finishing the coding bootcamp, to be honest.
Totally hear what you're saying. Thanks for sharing that with me, John. Now, something I actually share with you is that many of our students face the same challenge when they were thinking about going through the coding bootcamp. They really felt like they didn't have enough time. But what we found and what they found is that usually time isn't the main factor here. It's actually priorities, right? Because let's say, if you're not happy with your current job and you see that there's no career progression in it, and even if you keep going, you already know what your life is kind of looking like, right? But if you really want to make a change in your life, a change in your career, and learn a valuable skill that you can, take advantage of for the rest of your life, well, that's really what our coding bootcamp is meant for, right? It's another opportunity. So if this is something you actually want, all you really have to do is prioritize it and make time to learn these skills, right? There's no other way around it. To actually learn a skill, you gotta put in the time, you gotta put in the effort. And I totally get it, right? It might feel overwhelming to, do a full-time job and then, do a coding bootcamp on the side. It's a lot of work. I totally understand it. But the real question is not whether or not you have enough time. It's actually if you actually really want to do this.
Okay, Patrick, that actually makes sense, but I'm not sure if I can actually afford this.
Okay, John, that's actually fair because the coding bootcamp, is an investment. But, do you mind if I kind of share a little bit of how it works with you?
Okay, sure.
All right, so for our coding bootcamp, right? Well, here's the thing. There's no upfront cost for you, okay? So you don't have to pay anything to get started. In fact, we actually only collect a payment once you're getting a full-time, well-paying job, right? And how we do that is we're only gonna take a percentage of your salary for a year to actually pay for the coding bootcamp. So if you decide to go through the coding bootcamp and you decide like, hey, it's not the best fit, or maybe you don't have enough time, or whatever the case is, well, you actually don't have to pay a cent because it was free for you to enroll. But if you do go through the coding bootcamp and it's something you enjoy and there's a future in software development for you, well, you can spend 2 hours a day for the next 12 weeks learning how to code. And then from there, we're gonna help you get a full-time, well-paying job. And only after you complete the entire process and you get the result that you are looking for and you get the result that we're promising you, only then you give us any type of payment. So in a way, we're only gonna get paid if you are successful. And if you're not successful and we can't help you get to where you wanna go, well, we're not successful either. So we're in it together. But like I said before, the question is not whether or not you have time or money, because those things are really taken care of. It's really if you want to prioritize learning a new skill and if you're actually committed to making a change in your life.
Now that you put it that way, I guess I'm just making excuses, huh? I'm not really sure, I wasn't really sure if I could pull this off.
I mean, that's totally normal to hear. A lot of our students felt the same way when they were just getting started. But fortunately for them, and fortunately for you, we actually have a community of alumni and instructors to support you and people who've already done what you're trying to do, right? And they can give you all the advice that you need. So not only are we invested in your success, but we have a community also invested in you as well.
All right, that's really cool to hear, Patrick. Well, thanks for the reassurance there.
Okay, no problem, John. And now with all that said, is there anything else you'd like to see or discuss before moving forward?
That should be everything. So how do I even get started?
All right, so that was the end of the role play, and let's go ahead and get into the analysis of it. So as you can see in the beginning, I just went for the close. I went for the soft close and I said, hey, John, is there anything else you need to see before making a decision? And John said, no, that's everything. And I said, okay, so you wanna get started right now? And from there, John is starting to have some hesitations, right? And these are objections, right? You're always gonna get objections. They're not bad things. They're just reasons for why someone's not buying right now. And the reason I wanna use this kind of soft close is because if you try to push and force, well, someone might just say no and then the call is over. But if you do a soft close, you give the other side an opportunity to share why they are hesitant or what's stopping them from actually moving forward with a deal. Because once you start knowing these things, you can start just saying the right things to actually handle those objections. So basically what I did is I asked John, what's stopping him? And he said it was time. First thing was time, right? And I kind of reframed the conversation. I said, it's not time. You have plenty of time. The problem is that you're not prioritizing making a change in your career and learning a new skill, which is the coding bootcamp I was selling, right? And if you're not prioritizing that, you're never gonna do it anyway. So basically I handled the objection from changing it from someone having not enough time to someone not prioritizing their life. And the second objection that John had was that he doesn't have money, right? And I said, look, you don't need to have money to enroll in the program because you're only gonna pay after you get a full-time job, and we're gonna help you do that. And we're only gonna take a percentage of your salary so that you're getting paid and we're just getting a little cut of it for helping you learn a new skill and then helping you get a job, which is fair. So I handled those two objections, not enough time, not enough money, with ease, right? And so as you can see, the strategy here is not to force someone to buy, but to ask the right questions, understand where these objections are coming from, and then reframing the conversations so that you can remove these objections and remove these blockers and help the customer see why they should purchase your product and service. And if you truly believe that your product or service is going to change their life and going to help them out, like seriously help them out, and you're committed to their success, well, you definitely should do a close like this because you're actually in the position where you're not forcing someone to buy. It's not sleazy, it's not salesy. You're really trying to inspire and help them live a better life. And so with that said, that is pretty much how you are gonna close over the phone. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and let me know in the comments what you thought of the sales roleplay and if you wanna see more videos like that. With that said, my name is Patrick Dang, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video.